Okay, so it's 5 in the morning. I keep squirming around trying to get comfortable before I started, and I couldn't get comfortable, so I'm just gonna squirm around, I'm sure, the whole time. That and I've been up since 11:30. And this is the kind of stuff where people start seeing like, are you bipolar or something? Is whenever I woke up at 11:30, I tried to go back to sleep, tried to go back to sleep. I think it was like by 12:30 or 1, I was like, fucking hell, fuck this. And got up, and then I don't know, like a little while later, I was in there rearranging a room. So I've been up like all night basically, and rearranged a room, been there doing stuff, um, rearranging another part of another room, and then I found some more stuff that was moldy, so I was like, fuck. So I have the heater and the fans. I don't know what the fuck's going on. And then in my car the other day, it did that fogged in the inside again. And there's nobody in it. It was just parked out there. And it was fogged on the inside. It kept doing that when it had the water leak. And but I still kept thinking there's something weird with the atmosphere pressure. Like something's weird. And so, anyways, I don't know what the fuck. I'm getting stuff moldy. And then in the one closet where my jeans are, they felt all wet. I was like, God damn, what the hell? And so, anyways, I don't know. This is just, I would think it's got to be something with our ground just being so saturated, and something with the atmospheric pressure changes, or there's just something going on in our, like in our reality, in our area. And this is, okay, this is stuff I'm going to say. And whatever other people want to believe is fine. You know, people can believe whatever they want to believe, really. I mean, the one guy who says he hangs out with Bigfoot all the time, he said that Bigfoot were like warriors that came here to protect the Anunnaki from dinosaurs. So, like, I wasn't there. I don't know. Maybe so. Fuck, I don't know. All these realities can be, you know, if somebody's thinking them. You know, how can I say that's not your reality? You've never been there. Like, how would I know? So, anyways, and it's like you create your own realities. And um, so anyways, on the, okay, I keep hitting into this one part of something I was going to say, but it's like, I got to go back to more. So I'm going to, so on the flooding situation, it is like a whole bunch of different things. Like yesterday morning, it was traumatizing. Like the mayor even went live again yesterday, and they did say they had some shelters. So that was like, okay, no, you would think like, what the fuck is going on? There's no shelters. There's no you would think, you know, if you were in danger of a certain thing, that there would be places that groups of people could go. And so she said that they're in this one place, this mayor that had told everybody they're going to die. She said that there was 3 schools that were open, and they had enough room for 20,000 people. They had about 8,000 there, and they had plenty of room. More people need to get there. You got to be there by noon. Everything is shut down. You better be where you're going to be by noon. And they kept doing stuff like that, where I kept thinking, this thing's going to roll in early. And you could just see it. You could just feel it. You could just read the signs. This thing's going to roll in early, way before people are expecting it. So she was telling people to get to shelters, and then she said, and this was all live yesterday morning, and then she said that if you don't come to the shelter, you're on your own. Don't fucking be thinking you're calling 911. She didn't say that part, but she made it clear. You know, like, whatever happens, it's your problem. There's nothing we can do about it. And which, by the way, there I saw footage of Mar-a-Lago, and it's full of linemen. He's got all these linemen there spending the night with order, which directions they're going to go when stuff which, you know what, it just is so fucking weird because they have another hurricane next week. It's already on its way. Like I had said a few weeks ago that they had shown whatever these systems, there was 3 hurricanes that were coming towards Florida, but the people who are there seem to not know. And I don't know, like, because I just see stuff off TikTok. That's why I go on there. I'm able to post my own thoughts. But it's where I go to look and see what's going on in the world. So I don't know, you see all these different things. And you see different moods of people and how they look at things, different perspectives and in different areas. And because there can be a same area with different perspectives. So on the Florida one, it was like this crazy thing about, everybody needed to leave. You're going to die. The newsmen are on the news crying, say it's about to be the biggest thing. There's not going to be a Florida left and all that stuff. Then you have all these spiritual people that are doing this mass meditation and all the Christian people who are praying and doing this mass prayer. And I know the meditation people were redirecting the hurricane. They were trying to focus on the hurricane and redirect it. And that's why I said when I went in and was looking at that whole thing, that is where I got the very strong message. And this is message that just keeps coming and coming and coming. Is that what is going to be is going to be. What is inevitable is inevitable. And there's so much to this whole thing that I need to explain about it, because it's like there's so much about people trying to control the universe. And that is trying to control the universe is out of fear. Just in the whole thing of, oh, we're going to redirect the hurricane because we're too scared over what's going to happen. So, and you can't really change anything. Like if there was going to be people who are going to die there, you think we all just, grab their number. Now, when are they going to die? What's going to happen now? Are they lost in the death situation? Is death out to get them? Are they going to die today? Like, so whatever, is meant to happen is always going to happen, always going to happen. And I see a lot of these spiritual people who are very much not in sync with the power of the universe. It's like they just want to fight against it. And the vision I was getting last night about this was think about like the Greek gods. Like you think about like Zeus and let me think of some more names of them. Poseidon, what is that guy's name? Like the ocean one. I don't know all these guys' names. I can see some pictures of some, but I don't know all their names. I mean, these names and all these different gods and stuff keep coming up all the time, which, they are just aliens from a long, long time ago that already knew, they were already more advanced than the beings that were here. So they look like gods and stuff, but they had more powers. And see, we're going into that range of beings, but but back then in this time, it was like when you get this part of like, I'm a powerful God, I am stronger than the universe, I can move hurricanes when they're coming and stuff like that. And these people may think they're fighting the cabal with, I'm not sure, but I just know there's destiny, and what will be, and the earth is changing landscapes, and I'm just not making this shit up. All you got to do is look out through history and the different maps and stuff. This is what happens. This is a reset. This isn't just their reset. This is a reset on time of the universe. And so these other people have done resets, but this is more than just their reset. So we're not just fighting against their reset. We're fighting against the universe's reset, because that is the changing of the ages. It's a whole new age. It's a whole new reality. And the only the way out of here is to take the bridge across, but you have to match the vibration to get across the bridge. So anyways, we're in this major reset time. And in order for the souls to move through it, they have to evolve emotionally, consciously, awareness, all of these different things. And so you get some, and then they start realizing, like, oh, I've got powers and stuff like that. And so then they want to try and use them. So I see, like, back where it was like these gods and stuff, and then where does it come down to whose decision, whose way is it going to go? Like, once it comes to, well, we want to move the hurricane 10 feet that way, and this god over here is like, no, we're going to move it 20 feet that way. And then this one over here is like, no, we're going straight up. So there becomes a battle between the gods who were trying to control the universe. So that is how I see, like, this period of time where they were battling each other. It was battling over this, it's like non-existent power. It's like ego power. It's like a power you give yourself. And it's like we have power, but we don't have the same kind of power until we're working with the universe. Like, it's a big difference when you work with the universe, and there's universal laws. There's the laws of what goes up must come down, what goes around comes around. It's like, it's just the way it is. There's nothing you could do about it. When it's going, you can't stop it from going. And that's what we have all these people trying to stop, what is in process, what is in motion. And they want to stop it. And so they are claim to be super spiritual, but by my perspective is that to be spiritual would be working in harmony and flow with the universal energy, and ride the energy as it's going, not trying to control the direction that it is taking. And the people that are claim to be spiritual, who still live in fear and control and this ego sense of, that they know better than God, then that battle of energy of them, and it's not being in sync with the universe, and it's also is based on fear. But they claim to be, the super spirits. And then there's so much of the, don't just focus on the things you like, just focus on the things you like, just focus on the things you like. It's like, if you want to heal, you're going to have to focus on things you don't like to. You're going to have to. You got to face the dark. Everybody wants to just look at their light side, but you have a dark side. Once you come into union with your dark side, and you find balance between your dark and light, that is where you feel whole and complete. That is where you will feel, like nobody can rock your world. Nobody can push you off your mound, because you are, it's like you build your root system from like an oak tree, and you're strong when you can take both things and merge them into one. And so many people, especially the people who get really stuck in ego, they think they're better than other people, so they're very much in ego, and then they think that and they think that they're all of the light, but that is dark energy concepts. So that's why I said that there's this whole thing going that is going to completely flip and turn. And it's so weird to be, going through this stuff, because, it is like an emotional roller coaster of events and stuff. And that there is a sense of where you have to detach and be like, okay, this is really their problems. I can't interject myself into their problems and stuff. Yesterday morning, it was super sad, and the day before, because there was so much about all of these people who have no money, and they're stuck there, and people are staying for other people, and which that's a whole thing. People not having places to go because people are refusing them, like all sorts of things playing out, which then that one kid whose mom said, oh, it'll be fine. They always get whatever she said, it won't be as bad as what they say. And then how it had turned and or slowed down or something. So the people were getting like 100 to 125 mile an hour winds instead of the 200 to 225 because the 200 or 225 would rip houses apart. I would just that apparently when the wind goes in, the wind creates a pocket and just implodes the house from the inside. So it just implodes and everything blows out when the wind is that strong. And then you had all this stuff going in the windows and stuff. So it was really scary going into the thing. And then you have all these people crying and they're stuck and little babies and all that. It's like, oh my God, this is traumatic. And the news saying they're all going to die. And then knowing that the map, Florida's not on that fucking map. As I looked, man, I've been looking through this stuff. And because I kept thinking Florida was going to be there still. But now I've looked and it's like this little tiny piece of Florida is left. And then, and that's a big carve out of the whole thing, but Florida is basically gone. And then, so then it was all the drama of the evacuate. No, there's no gas. Oh, well, there's gas, but they're lying. Oh, electric, or not just electric cars, electrical systems in cars are failing and people are being stuck everywhere. They'll have freeways completely blocked and clogged off, and people not knowing their state highways and their back exits. And I keep trying to tell people, you got to learn your way around your town without your GPS and without their interstate system. And you got to think about it, like the whole cities, all the towns used to be evolved or revolve around the state highway system. And then they closed it off and redirected traffic into their interstate system, which then they just ran across all the roads with all of their gas stations, their little restaurants, their fast food things, all the stuff to appeal to travelers. And it was making me think of it yesterday because about the movie Psycho, and that's what happens in the movie Psycho, because they get the hotel and then the traffic gets redirected and to the other road, and then it stops all of the people going into these little hotels. That happens to tons of people. And yesterday, it was out of the blue. Yesterday the movies were just starting by themselves. I wasn't even paying attention. I was doing, who knows? I was probably looking on TikTok some of the time. So, this movie just all of a sudden started. It was John Wayne, but it was about him being a farmer and then fighting against the government and the corporation as they're taking their land and telling them their land's worthless and all the manipulation going on. I was like, oh my God, what is the chances that this movie would pop out? I've never heard of this fucking movie. And it's so relevant to what we're going through presently. And then when you say you're not going to give them their land, well, we'll just come in and, open a dam or burn you out or whatever. And the amount of resources in Wyoming, it was found is supposed to be some new heavy mineral bed thing that they found that is very rare. And so now they're, taking Wyoming. Luckily, they're going to lose the whole thing. All this is still, though, happening, but it's happening so people will see. And the thing that was getting me so on the hurricane thing. So yesterday I was getting really irritated because it was like this whole attitude of these people. So many of these people started just being like, kind of like, oh, fuck the hurricane, schmurricane. And it's like, you better give some respect to Mother Nature and the power behind her drive. And with the attitude is so much like, and now that this went down in their range and, I don't know what the devastation is going to be. I would assume it's going to be light soon and there'll be a lot of videos. I know a lot of the devastation came from the tornadoes that weirdly showed up beforehand. There was like 30 tornadoes that just destroyed places. And then the videos I was seeing, there was a lot of people live, because I've been up all night. There was a lot of people live, and a lot of people don't have power. And then there's water has risen. Oh, the crane. The crane did fly and hit into a building. I don't know the damage from that yet, but and I don't even know if it was the same crane. But yeah, that made a news thing. In the like of course the crane's in, like, what the fuck? I just Like, I could just look and say, oh, that's going to go blowing. Like, it doesn't take goddamn genius to figure it out. Like, we'll just leave that there. So the, so anyways, I started seeing all these people that were like this smug, snubbing, Mother Nature, hurricanes, like, and kind of almost turning it into a joke. Like, there's so much of this capitalizing off of it. Like, people trying to get views and build their thing up. And the guy in the boat, like, I think he's still alive, but people had his whole thing. And so now he's got all these followers, and somebody's buying him a new boat for $100,000 or something. So, and then people in the middle of the night were like, oh my God, what happened? He was live. Is he dead? What's happening? So whatever. But that's what I mean. It's like, it's turned into kind of like a joke, like fucking, and it's like, Jesus Christ, people, this is like the fucking end times. This is the end of this present time. And y'all just act like it's, fun and games or something. Like, they're not taking it serious at all. And I think, at this point, it's almost like a card shark. Like, this is not a card shark, pool shark. It's almost like a pool shark. It's almost like, if you know what a pool shark does, it goes into a pool hall. They're called something too. Well, I mean pool shark, but I think there's another name for them too. But anyways, they go into a pool hall, and they're like expert pool players, but they go in and then they pretend like that they can't play very well. And so then they find the table of these cocky guys who think that they're super good and they're doing money on the games and stuff. And they act all humble and, doesn't want to get in on the game and act like they don't play very well. And then they start doing some bets and stuff. And usually I think they lose the first part until it starts going up. And then when the money starts going up and these guys think that they've got this guy, a fucking idiot, that then at the end the tables turn, and all of a sudden this guy wins and he wins all the money. And that's happened a lot, where these guys have gotten their asses kicked and stuff, but that's like a whole fucking shenanigan of the grifter lifestyle or whatever. And everything's micro and macro, because this is a goddamn grifter government. So anyways, that kind of tricking them. So I feel like kind of what these storms are like right now. And it did start heading up the coast. So it started heading up Georgia, North Carolina. And the one sailor guy said it's going to hit bad. And he kept saying it's going to turn and it's going to go up. And now they've said it's turned and it's going up. But they're only grading it as a tropical storm or something. He said it's going to be very devastating. If you're in those areas, be prepared. And that... there's going to be more, because, I mean, they used the Helene to do those dams. Because, it's absurd. A hurricane did not come do any of that shit. And so they'll do the same kind of thing again. And also, when people were live and they were showing the footage, there was like this colorful explosions. There was like some really colorful lightning. The tornadoes were big. There was some scary looking shit, and the colors of the sky and stuff. And I would be horrified. I would be fucking horrified. I would 100% be in a shelter. I don't care how uncomfortable I'd be. I would way rather be with a big crowd of people facing some big dramatic storm than being sitting in my house. Like, I saw videos, like this one woman, and this was before it even started. This was just when the tornadoes came, because they were already flooding before before the hurricane hit. They were already flooding. They had the tornadoes. They already had power going out. There was roads that were already full of water. And then there was people who would be going out crying and going, oh my God, the road already is full of water. And I'm just thinking, what did you guys expect was going to happen? Like, what? And then so many of those, oh my God, where I'm like, is this like for real? Like, are you just trying to get attention and being dramatic? Did you really think that there wasn't going to be water in the streets? Like, what? and I know some were like freaking because it was so soon in it. But once it, last night it was still going, like where people were like, oh my god. And there was people who were being cocky, who were just sitting there in their living room floating, and people were being so concerned because they still had power and they had everything plugged in and the water was just rising. And then it's like, and they said, well, this person's young, they may not know you're going to get electrocuted. And so there's going to be people who are getting electrocuted. Oh, it'll probably be, I don't know. Well, we'll just see how it goes. Because that was Alexa, although she did say we were going to have this big earthquake. It didn't happen. But she said that there was going to be like 65 people that died. And yesterday, every single time somebody would ask her about the storm or about the weather in Florida, she would turn off. She wouldn't tell them anything. And she kept saying there was no hurricane, that nothing was happening. So she's not with us. She's working against us. So the so the so the people so the people that were it just had like this kind of attitude of like, well, I'm gonna get famous from doing footage of the hurricane. It's like, well, where do you go from there? Where are you gonna take that then? Like I don't know. It's so strange. It's just like, I'm gonna risk my life because at the time they were saying y'all are gonna die, so you're all gonna die. And I know this is the second hurricane they've said that. And that's why I said it's almost like pool sharks. Like, oh, we say this a lot. This is a little extreme, but, don't worry. We're just trying to protect you guys. And then one of these is going to come in and hit them. And hopefully it's going to just keep being little by little and places raising their water and stuff like that. But I don't know. With the extreme amount of hurricanes and stuff, it's like, there's gonna keep being these drama things. And there was places last week that were just wiped off the map. So we'll see what places, and just in the tornado, it looked like it just took out, like the places looked like 225-mile-an-hour winds. They were just, the houses were just like, roofs ripped off everywhere. It was like the tornadoes touched down the whole thing. Because usually the tornado, when I was in the tornado, it is like above you. You can hear is loud, and then you can see when it's coming to. Everything changes outside. The sound changes, the color changes, and then it came, and then I don't remember if there was sirens or whatever when you go to get cover. And I'm pretty sure we were in the middle of the house in the bathroom. Usually, I think you get in the tub and you put something over you. I can't remember all that. And then, I mean, it was our whole family. But so I remember it going over us, and then but it didn't touch down on my house, but it touched down on my street. But it was a long street, and it touched down a few different places. At the end of our street was some church, and it destroyed that church. So it was, I don't remember how, I mean, and this was a long time ago. So the tornadoes are, of course, way worse nowadays than they were back then. So but that's how they go, is they like will be up and then they kind of bounce down, and then they go up and they kind of bounce down. But it looked like this one just goes down drilling, just gonna take everything out. Like, I don't know. And Elon Musk did some interview, I think it's with Tucker, and he definitely is insinuating that most of the UFOs are really the government. They're not really people from outer space. But the people from outer space is our space outside of us, which is multidimensional, because everything is realms and realities and stuff. So it's multidimensional. So they don't all need to have these spaceships to travel around. I mean, they can just walk through portals and walk through. I think, depending on what the dimension or where you're coming, because, I mean, they've got those stairs out in the forest. Someone just walked down some stairs. But on their side, they may walk through a door. They may climb through a window. They may go through a mirror. They go through something and then go down the stairs. And then, so they can go, there's something with the reflection, but that is how they can use water, too. because water is like a portal, because it's something with the reflection. And so so some of those spaceships that we see that go leave the water or go down into the water, it isn't traveling like a submarine through the water. It's going through a portal into another dimension and traveling. And and I think down in the water, when you go down really far into the other realms and stuff, I think there is other beings, and like we could go into the water, but it's like we can't get down there far enough. But it's like it's still through like realms and stuff. It's still through like vibration. Because that's weird, because yeah, it could be is way higher vibration even than what we could do. It could be like the firmament is why we can't go down deep enough in the water. It's because it's our vibration. We're in a containment from our vibration for this reality, because it can't bleed out into the rest of the universe. And then you can see why. Fuck, this place is toxic. And like fucking Crystal said, that at the shelter over by her, that they went in and just went in there and just took out all these dogs, and they had collars and stuff. I was like, I don't know, I'm so sick of these motherfuckers. The Helene, apparently at one of the prisons, they just left the guys to die. There's a bunch of those guys died. They did it the other day too. They were in the line of the path of the thing. But Tampa didn't get hit that hard, because they were first saying Tampa was going to be washed away. And then that St. Petersburg, and then that shaman lady, she was back out there saying the St. Petersburg, and she's crying when she's saying this about the St. Petersburg. And she said that they told her also, they just said twin. And she's like, I don't know what they're talking about, but they said twin. And when I heard her say that, I was like, well, because there's another hurricane coming right behind us. So there's a twin hurricane. Then, and throughout the day, I saw videos of there's another one. So there's one on each side of it. There was one over here brewing, and then there was one coming up behind it. So there's just these storms are going to keep coming, because what it has to happen has to happen. It's inevitable. And that is what is weird, how you have all these people that don't understand. It's like they don't get it. They don't see it. And so yesterday afternoon, as soon as I saw where they started saying, oh, it is, because I wasn't going to go on. I was just like, look, I can't go on here and watch all these people die. So then I had seen where it started saying, oh, it's going slower. The winds are only 100, 125 miles an hour. And it's really slowed down. And you had so many people lie. I just can't even tell you how many videos. And so they're all monitoring it and looking at the radar and all these different things. We've got a zillion news reporters out there now. And so anyways, they were saying about the wind. Oh yeah. So as soon as I had seen that about that, I was like, oh my God, now we're going to have these people, the meditation people, they're going to be claiming it. They're going to, I was like, these people are going to claim that they did this. And so, yep, today, or still whatever, it's still the nighttime, it's still happening. But as soon as it had gone down or turned or whatever it was it did, that the people started coming out and saying, oh, look what we did, you want to mess with us, and all this, we're so powerful. And that's where I started being like, seeing like these Greek gods, oh, I'm tougher than you, well, I'm tougher than you, well, it's like, we're the toughest. And it's like an egomania check-in for a spirit, for a soul. You can't get up in your own ass over your God and you're over the universe. You've got control. The universe doesn't have control. You're going to battle the universe at this point. And so you have these people now who are proud of themselves because they believe that they battled the universe and won. And they, but like I said, I don't even know if they realize that they're battling the universe, that they are, if they just think they're battling the cabal or something, or the harp or whatever it is they think they're doing. But the thing is about destiny and fate and what the things that occur to create change. And the thing that I see that what is so burdening about the whole thing is that it seems that the people's attitude, it prolongs it. It just keeps prolonging it. And it's all these people's attitude, just like these spiritual people who they're the chosen, they're God's almighty, they've got control of the universe. Well, don't worry about the universe, we've got control of this. And you are the master of your own universe, so if anything happens and you don't jump timelines, then you're a fool. Like all their stuff is so nothing that I have ever understood about spirituality is the way their philosophy. So that's what I'm saying. Like everybody's got their own. Like I don't know. In my concept of the universe and stuff is very different than theirs. And like to me, it isn't that you don't just look away off of something that you don't like. It is, but you do monitor when it's becoming too much for you, and that you do take mind and take notice to take care of your own self and to know your own limitations. And so, I think that is important, and finding your balance is knowing your own limitations to what it is that you can process through. It was like when my mom kept watching the news and she kept bitching about her blood pressure was getting so high and she's getting so pissed and she hates Joe and she hates Kamala and all that stuff. And oh, I hate the news. And then you say, well, then you need to turn it off because look what you're doing to yourself. So, that is important for us to find our own emotional stability and balance ourselves and maneuver ourselves through all the problems that are occurring. And so I think that is important. But these people, who are about like jumping timelines and then plus if you even notice that you're lowering your vibration. But I just don't, to me, I feel like you lower your vibration by, I don't know. To me, there is, because to me, it's like, okay, it's like because your vibration is going to veer, but it's like it's higher when you are going towards taking care of yourself. And then when you're just ignorant or ignoring, then it's not necessarily higher because you don't even know what it is that you are maneuvering through. So it's just of, like, I'm not going to pay any attention, as there's definitely, I mean, definitely, like, even when I was talking about Hawaii, there's definitely lots of people I think, like, don't look at the thing, don't pay attention to it. And, because that is kind of a theory that goes around. I just don't abide by that theory because I abide by more of this seeing what's there and then processing through it and having awareness of what's happening. And then plus through this awakening, you have such a connection to the other souls and so much compassion. And then to me, it has so much about more perspectives. And I think that just, I was in a conversation yesterday with one of my kids and I said something and well, I mean, I've said a lot of things, but there was something that I said that I started, it was like I realized, like if somebody starts telling me something, I will start hearing more perspectives. I'll start hearing more things, not just what they're saying. Like it opens up this whole thing to me. And so a lot of times somebody will be saying something and then, about their perspective or something. And then I'll start hitting this one and that one. What, if you think about it like this, if you look at it like this. And so I start getting all these different ones, which like I've said before, it's like it to the person who it is, it's kind of like, okay, but what about mine? And so, that is like one of those things that you can look at it either way. You can look at it as like, oh my gosh, I never acknowledge my perspective, but that doesn't mean I'm not acknowledging somebody's perspective. I see a lot of different, I see it from a lot of different ways. And so that is something that definitely I feel like I just driven my kids crazy for their childhoods. And I didn't realize it that I did that so much, but I've noticed more about myself now. And now I can see more, like, yeah, I'm sure that would be irritating to people. Is like you're trying to tell them about what you think about something, and then I start saying, yeah, but what about this and this and this and this? But, I mean, that's how I look at things. That's how I see things. Like, just all these things open up to me, these different perspectives. And then it seems like, I don't know, like an obligation to share knowledge. And so, that's, and to me, it's, communication stuff. It's not like I'm a super genius or something. It's just whatever I'm tapped into. My communication is how I see things. And it started, like I've said, when I was 3 years old. And I was getting the different perspectives then. And it's just expanded throughout my life. It's just been that way that I was living my life. And so anyways, that whole thing. But then when and I see these super spirits on there, that they've moved uh, the hurricane and patting themselves on the back. And I'm sitting here thinking, well, you guys are not working in, in harmony with the universe when you're trying to control, because when things have to happen, they have to happen. And there's so much to me, about life and learning how to be comfortable in this world is realizing what you have control over and what you don't have control over, and what you don't have control over, to find peace of mind. And that is part of the challenges of life. You can't just have control over everything. It's like you have control over your attitude, how you look at things. And that's why I think a lot of perspectives are helpful, because it's easy to just get one way and just look at it this way. But then when you see, like, there's multiple ways of seeing things, then to me, I feel like it's just, I don't know, just opens things up. But, I've been saying for a while about this certain group of people. I don't know, they are triggering to me for sure, because they get all of the attention, and they're just misleading people, as far as what I understand about the universe, the way I look at it. And like I said, I'm no expert on the universal laws. I just understand about, like, what goes around comes around. Like I don't need a Bible to tell me not to go out and hurt people. I don't need like all of the different things. Gluttony, what is that one called? When you're lusting after, all these kind of things, like, you learn about them, like when you're growing up. And so you have opportunities to learn. And so I don't know. I feel like that those are not, I feel like that some of those battles are not something that I battle or something. And, like, I managed them or handled them or something a long time ago. Because I definitely did have, like, lust or whatever. Oh, they've got a better life than me and all of that stuff back when I was younger. So those are things that you go through, and then when then you go and learn, like, you find out, like, those people, if you really knew them, they don't have it any easier. They don't have any easier life, better. Everybody's got problems. Nobody's, going to come into this place and just be scot-free from problems, unless, from what Dolores Cannon has said, that there's certain lifetimes you can come in. It's like a vacation life, but you're kind of like isolated. You don't really have much to do with anybody. You don't have any problems in life. You just kind of float through life with no real thing. So I don't know, I mean, anything's possible. But here, to me, this place is all about lessons and learning, and I can just see all of how it works through the whole universe. How it's like we're like the heartbeat of the universe, the souls that experience and learn. And like to me, it's like about the reincarnation and stuff because we learn from, because those are all different perspectives. And so we learn from all these different perspectives. And like I've said, the universe learns with us. We all learn together. But in this realm of where we're at, and in this reality of while we're leaving it, is that this reality is ending. And so all these super spirits don't seem to understand these spiritual concepts or something. Is because you have so many of them are like, leave the matrix, jump your timeline, um all of that kind of stuff that just does not go into my understanding of spirituality, which only motivates me more to speak of my understanding, because people need more perspective, they need more information, because I feel like they're very much misleading people. And especially to sit there and be like, yeah, we moved the hurricane, we got it out of the way, so we've saved the day. We've saved all you people in Florida. You can thank us later. And it's like, I don't know. I mean, everybody can see what they can see. I see a lot of ego. The same thing of like, we're the chosen, we're the star seeds, and there's so many of them that only talk to each other. Oh, I'm talking to the star seeds. Star seeds, like they all form this little group of like, well, we're better, we are awake, we understand and stuff. But then that's also, well, there's so many concepts then they are missing. What about lower chakra? And, I mean, these are the same people calling people NPCs. That's even off Dolores Cannon shit. And so what about lower chakra? What about when people are on autopilot? What about when people are not engaged in being able to be thoughtful or make their own decisions because they're just reactive in life, because they're not healed? What about that situation? And then what about not just about the stuff that you learn and grow from going through things and facing your darkness. And so many people, they want to hide from their darkness. Yeah, you cannot become whole or complete if you hide from your darkness. You have to face your darkness and you have to accept it. You're not perfect. You're just a person with flaws and interest and unique and facets and everything, but you're not perfect. And when you don't have a focus on your dark side is going to be back there whipping its tail in people's faces, and you just don't even know. You're just standing there with this dumb smile on your face, and you don't even have any realization of yourself, just like a dog has no realization of its back end. And it'll chase its tail. It doesn't know it's attached to it. And so I've made a lot of steps in getting Stella's world to become bigger by showing her and where her pain's coming from and how, all this kind of stuff. So that I feel I've given an expansion of her understanding of her back end and stuff like that. But on the whole, most dogs don't have an awareness of it. Both these dogs, they just crack me up. That they'll chase their own tails. Yesterday, I went and took them out to, there's at Silver Lake, there's a camping place, a really nice camping place. And if you ever want to go over here and go camping and see this area, Pacific Northwest, if it's still here, who knows what the fuck's going to happen. But Silver Lake has nice camping. And it's right by the lake, but they poison that lake too. And it's not like you can do motorboats or whatever. But the camping thing is so nice, I think. And it's very centrally located to a lot of places to go see over here. So anyways, it's not very many campers over there right now. There's like 2. And they've been there a while. The one has been there a while. I don't remember the other one there the last time I went. But so we went and Walked around and I let the dogs just go off their leash. Oh my God. Max just takes off. He's an adventurer. At one point, he went way out that way. I couldn't even see him. And especially Archie would become concerned. He wanted to go chase him. They're like brothers. It's the cutest thing. But they fight. I feel like I've got these two little boys. It does not feel like that they're dogs. They act so much like kids. I can't even believe it. But so he takes off running. He's just running and running all out in the woods and stuff. And he goes off this way. And so we went off walking this way. I was like, well, he's going to have to learn how to find us. You know, he wants to do this. He's going to have to find us. I'm going to chase him around. And so we start walking the other way. And he comes running. I don't even know how he got over there. He comes running towards us. Like, oh my gosh, this guy's all over the place. So he was just running, running, running. And it was really cute at one point. But he'll go up to people. And people don't want strange dogs to come up to him. Everybody's scared of dogs. And but we went out to this one field. And the two of them took off running. And they were racing each other. It was the cutest thing. Running as fast as they could through this field. It was the cutest thing. So that was fun. A lot of fun. Some of the days when I go out here and walk around, a walk can either be really good or it's hellacious. It's like intense. They're all going all over the place. They keep twisting around me. It's like, oh my God. But sometimes it just go and everything's cool and we just walk and it's fine. It's just like, it's like weird, like the energy. It's like how it affects them if they're all of a sudden anxious and they're looking around and they're jumping around and stuff like that. So anyways, we went and did that walk yesterday. And that was cute. And I don't know why I was talking about that in the middle of my rant about the misleading of spirituality and the people all feeling like that's what, you know, you're creating your own reality by forcing it into your mind. Yesterday, I told my daughter, I was talking to her about something about a house and whatnot, you know, and they're always like, I don't understand. Why don't you just leave? Why don't you just move? Why don't you come over here and stuff? And I said, that's how the universe works is something will open up for you. I'm not going to force things. Things open up where you're supposed to be, when you're supposed to be there. Otherwise, you're just forcing things and then you end up not where you're always going to be where you're supposed to be. But there can also be where you're supposed to be as a part of your lesson because you forced it. You were trying to be somewhere where you weren't supposed to be and there's lessons behind that. So so I don't want to go and force, you know, like out of fear, like it would be wrapped around why I feel I have to force them. It would be wrapped around some kind of a negativity. And so I have to trust the universe has got this plan and they're going to work it out. And it isn't like having a savior because those people are just sitting back like, I'm not dealing with anything. Jesus will do it. It's not like that because then I told my daughter, she's like, well, you have to be blah, blah, blah. Yeah, just all this stuff. And I said, well, and manifesting takes time. And she said, oh, well, manifesting, you have to blah, 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 or whatever. And I said, I'm manifesting. This is manifesting. And I'm not just sitting here thinking it, oh, I'm going to think it into being. I'm taking action. You take action into what you're doing. Which, by the way, yesterday, it was really shown to me how when they say the energy is going to come back to you, it was really shown to me. So it was like, if you're putting out a lot of love, like you're just being very loving and kind and caring to people and stuff like that, that energy is going to come back. So you're going to, all the love that you've been putting out is going to come back. And so love will come back to you in different forms, in different ways. But all it depends on is the energy you've been putting out is going to come back to you. And that's where a lot of people are not going to understand the energy that's coming back to them. And I don't know what the deal is with these people because when they're fighting against the universe, because to me, it's like I see you as being an adversary to spirituality, not being spiritual. It's like you are being the same as these people who are in charge here. You're trying to control. And so I'm and there's a part to spirituality, this humbling of self, is to trust the universe that they have your back, that they have got a plan, that it's all in motion. And you can see things happen, like it's right in front of everybody's faces. Like where people are like, oh my God, what's the chances that that happened? Oh, can you believe I was just walking and then that just happened? Well, that didn't happen. All these things. It's like, because it's all set. It's all a set up thing. Everything is already going. It's already in motion. And you are just becoming aware of it. But it's already in motion. It's already set. Because it's predestined. It's a flight plan. It's already going. And so I don't know. I don't understand these people's philosophy over, leave the matrix, control the universe, hate being alive, hate being on earth, like all these different things that you hear them all say. It's like, okay, well, for the point where we're at is learning how to manage ourselves, our own emotions, to be what it is that we want the world to be back to us. We got to put that energy out. So you want a safe space in the world, be a safe space in the world. So we all have this that we're putting out into the world, and that creates the world that you want, or some people it creates the world they don't want, because they don't have the awareness of what the energy they're putting out into the world. But so the people who are, like, don't like Earth, they just want out of here, they're starseed, they're not even from here, stupid ass Earthlings, they're all NPCs. This place is a matrix, the prison, it's all of this stuff that they look at the thing as. Then it's like a very negative and hostile. It's not in harmony. And so to me, being in harmony, okay, so being in harmony is that there's a lot of things, because it's on all different levels. So it has to do with mind, body, spirit. And and a part of your body is a signal. It's a gauge for you to understand yourself, like how you feel, what's bothering you, what you're supposed to work on, and stuff like that. So in your mind, your body, and your spirit is like coming together to make a complete circuit, putting it all together. So they all have a component, they all have a part to play. And so that is finding that balance for yourself, because nobody can just tell you, because everybody's in all different levels. So you have to find your own balance in yourself, because you could go to somebody and they're trying to explain something to you and you're already doing it, but their way they explain it and the way they perceive it will only create confusion to you, because they'll be explaining something and it's like, well, I do that, but I do it different. I look at it different. Like, because everybody has their own perspective. So people have to learn how to trust their own communication, their own perspective, and all of that. So that is a part of the growth, because in the healing and the growth is you have to, find forgiveness. You have to find your own balance. You have to find this release of the things that you've done, forgiveness for yourself. Find forgiveness over your own shame and guilt. And throughout those things too is, to me, the communication with the spiritual side, then that helps you to grow through, helps you expand yourself or understand things. So on the healing is a big part of this whole thing. And so many people are not focused on their healing. They're focused on all of the trauma and the dramas going on and stuff like that. And so they don't focus on, to me, what they should be focused on. But anyways, I'm just sharing my perspective. And that, So in the bonding with the earth, to me, is like this understanding the earth is changing. It's in the process of change. And it's just the same thing as what I've said, is like the part of her that's been exposed has been exposed and beat down. It's like we've trampled it. And so it's time for her to shift. And so should just shift. So the some land will go down and some land will come up. And so there will be shifts in the landscape. And that all has to do with the changing of the ages, it's changing of time, because we no longer need the time that we were at. This is the process of letting go of that time. But that's when I'm like, it's so weird how like there's just these people who just hold on to stuff so weird. It's like they want to go back. I mean, there was motherfucking people who were staying at the evacuation zone for jobs like Walgreens. There was places like fucking Kroger's and shit telling people if you don't show up at work, then you're fired. So, so you're telling me that in a place where they're saying you're gonna die, that these little fucking jobs are keeping people like something so absurd. Like another fucking surfer went out, like the hurricane's coming. Ah, fuck Mother Nature. I'm gonna go surf it. I, uh, I just, it's the people, seriously, it's the people. It's their fucking attitude. It's this goddamn ego. It's this. So, anyways, the earth is gonna change. And whatever with their map, it's already been changing into that map. So I give relevance to that map. People can think or whatever they want about the map. I'm sure some of these people think, oh, well, that map won't happen if we think it out of happening. It's like, I don't know. Maybe y'all are just creating some weird dream reality and you guys are all going to go to some other realm together and live in this weird dream reality that you've created or something. But there's other realities manifesting. And so this, and this other reality is going to be about forgiveness. It's going to be just how this is heavy in the dark. The other one's going to be heavy in the light. So it's going to be very, people are, oh, it's going to be so much more people concerned and loving. And, oh, no, they want to stop and talk to you. They want to get to know you. It's going to be very different than what we're used to. It's going to be a lot more engaging, a lot more socializing, a lot more connection, a lot more people feeling good about themselves, a lot more about people finding themselves to be interesting and unique rather than feeling shame that they're different. They're going to, learn how to like themselves. So it's going to, but see, we got to go through all this and you can see where people are at. So you can see where, we're not there yet. We all know all these people who are loving themselves. You got people who are staying in a thing that says that you're going to die because this other person, all these different people, like those are big fucking soul lessons, big lessons. And if you don't think so, just go read some near-death experience books and see what it is that pulls people over to the other side and what the conversations are about. So so anyway, could you imagine, like, I'm going to die if I stay here, but they want me to stay here, so I'm just going to stay here and die, even though I don't want to die. Like, that's absurd. And a soul would ask itself, well, why am I doing something that they want me to do instead of doing what I want to do, even to the point where I would leave the game. And so, like, these are big things. And people just don't take it serious enough about what you're really healing and what you're really doing. And so in the process of all this healing is where things change into this loving society and this place. And then throughout all this, like all of this evilness and this horrible stuff that keeps coming to the surface and showing its ugly face to us, that is the purging of that energy out. This energy is being purged out. And in some of these places, like I've said, have been battlegrounds for other battles. other realities. And so there's big energies coming out of some of these places. And there's reasons why some of these places are just being wiped off the map and stuff. Like it all is much deeper. But this is going to happen. Like we can all sit here and, I don't know, we could spend fucking years, I guess, moving hurricanes when we all go together and move a hurricane. And like we sit here and battle the universe for what is inevitable, what is destiny, the change. And then we keep fighting against it because we don't want it. But the change is the best thing that could ever happen to us. But we're going to just keep fighting it and fighting it because we don't want to lose our house. Well, we've got some nice things. I don't want to lose it. Okay, so we'll just stay here in this fucking hellhole and just keep waiting for things to change. And we'll keep battling the universe because we don't want anything to change. It's like things are going to change. And we don't need what we had. That's what we got to let go of. And when you have it, you got to enjoy it. Like I just try and really focus on this house and just be like, this is my fucking house. This is where I live. I enjoy this place and just love it with gratitude while it's here. And, if it gets wiped off, if it's gone and all of this stuff, all my artwork, all of that, then, you just got to be like, let it go. And I know, that's hard for a lot of people who haven't had that happen yet, because it definitely was very hard the first time that happened for me. Like losing my house when I got the brain injury, losing my house, losing my nursing license. Like I was in this hugest process of loss. I couldn't remember people. I was losing all my friends, but it was partly, it wasn't just them. It was just, I started seeing things so different. And, but I know I was different to them too, because that always happens with a brain injury. When somebody gets a brain injury, they don't normally stay friends with their other friends, because the friends that they have expect them to be the way that they were. And you aren't. It's impossible to be the way that you were. And so anyways, I was in this period of loss and losing everything. And it was very hard to lose everything. Like I lost my identity. And, it was like everything was stripped from me. But that is, you just don't realize the gift it is until you go through the loss. And that's where it's a certain point. It was years into it. A certain point is when the universe started showing me that this was going to happen for everybody. And I knew that everybody was going to go into these huge crises. And I knew that we were going to go into these huge shifts. And I knew that we were going to go into this changing into this new age, and everything was going to be changing. And the landscape, I'm pretty sure, I've known for a long time that the landscape was going to change, because even when I had first seen about Dolores Cannon, she was where I'd heard about the map. Only she didn't call it the Doomsday Map, because it wasn't called the Doomsday Map then. She called it the Naval Projected Map. And the reason she had looked into it was because all these generals were moving out by her, and she was up in the high mountains in the Appalachian, and she said it was really weird. Why are these generals moving up here? And then whatever, you'd have to read that book or listen to her talk about it. I don't remember how I had heard about it, but she said that then she went and looked into this naval projected map, and that's where she showed that. And so I went and looked it up and was looking at the map and everything, which then at the time I related it to what my mom had said about the some map that she had seen a long time ago that said the areas that were going to be safe biblically, and that the area up here in Washington State was going to be safe. And so she was glad to be living over here. And so then after that, because I think it was like 2020, it could have been 2019, but I think it was 2020 is when I saw that Forbes put out a map called the Doomsday Map. And as soon as I saw it, I was like, that's the Naval Projected Map. Like, the Doomsday Map, what's the fuck? And then at the time when that was coming out and everybody was talking about it, I was like, well, at least everybody's talking about it, but not everybody, because there's a lot of people who still don't get it. What the hell's going on? And then the, I guess there was another thing too. So the naval projected map, and I saw that, or the doomsday map. Oh, because then after the doomsday map came out, then all of a sudden there was a map that people were showing of all the land that the billionaires have been buying. And it just so happened to be in all the areas that are all the land where the land's going to be left. And we're buying it in, they're not buying all of California and Florida. So there was that whole thing that was showing like Bezos and Gates and all these fucking rich people, and they bought all this and all that. Oh, and somebody was saying too about Wyoming and about all these resources and that they're going after that, and something about us, and if this was going to make us be able to go over China, like that this is our government is doing this so they can get these resources so they can be as equal with China in the resources or whatever. And I was like, probably it's more of China's probably more involved. Like this is probably who's over there and is a part of it. They probably already own that land. Is they our government had already been giving. There's some weird thing about there's a weird thing about the whole border of the country, the first 100 miles inland. That's pretty big. That is our government has no say over that. That has the N at the end of it. They have say of that border, which is pretty big. And then they've also got some stations set up around, because the government is all a facade, and all they want to do is become bigger and us become smaller. And they always have a way of convincing us. But right now they've got stuff that is so ridiculous and absurd and out of control, because it's all being exposed, because the time is up. They can't keep doing this. It's over with. And so everything is going to fall apart that they keep trying to do. It's not going to work. And I definitely don't think the white hats, there's still this thing going around, the white hats are going and flooding all these places out because they're emptying out emptying out the tunnels. And there was even a thing where in one of these towns they found a bunch of dead bodies, and then everybody's like, nobody knows who they are. And if there really is that where they were disposing of bodies in the midst of this thing, that would be more of what they were doing. It's like, oh, well, there's gonna be a lot of bodies here, just take that 20 up there that we just took their parts out, just go dispose of them up there, because they'll just go in with the rest of them, because that's what these people are like. I mean, they were literally having bodies taken to these fucking meat disposable places or whatever, meat packing and whatever the fuck, where they go and ground it up and put it in. And then there's so many more people putting together about the Soylent Green, and all these people aren't being buried like they were. And where was all the dead people going? We've got all these people dying. It's like, because they're feeding them to us. You guys, you gotta watch what you eat, man. When I saw Soylent Green when I was a kid and I saw that fucking movie, I knew that was coming. I was like, fuck, that's real, man. And it horrified me. And where are we? Still in my lifetime, and fucking has come out, and I've been feeding them goddamn people for a long goddamn time, because they gotta do something with the leftovers. So what do? Chop them up and feed them to us. And yeah, it probably does have something to do with it. Like, we have so many mutants, and there was a baby born the other day that has no nose. He looks so much like an alien, and I was like, that could be something with the alien DNA and stuff. And the mom is all concerned, like, people are gonna make fun of him in school, and they're hoping that they can build a nose on his face and stuff. But I kind of feel like that there's gonna be like these hybrid alien looking kids and stuff, and then they wouldn't be made fun of. People would be like, oh man, you're so cool, more. But that is how we're going to be changing in society. You know, where when somebody's very different, very unique and stuff, people are going to be a lot more like, wow, that's so cool. Instead of like, God, weird. Like, we're growing, we're expanding. We're changing our attitude. We're changing our priorities. Our value system is changing. And it's changing off of this artificial, superficial, away from this like, oh, well, they look good, so they must be nice people. And that is still a huge process that people are still going through. Oh my God, who is this one? This girl was like, over, who was it? Somebody, oh, Dolly. Yeah, that woman. She was like, Dolly's giving $1 million or something to this thing. But there's a lot of stuff coming out with her of like she's a part of it, and that the person who was talking about her great deeds and stuff, and no matter what, we got to protect Dolly. We got to protect Dolly and stuff like that. It's like these people just like you don't even know these people, and you just think they're good people for some reason. I mean, all they got to do is wave their pocketbook and all of a sudden they're good people. It's like, it's probably not even her million fucking dollars. Like, I used to love Dolly Parton. I used to think that she was like a good person or something, but I don't know. There's all these, Julia Roberts kind of shocked me because I was like, man, and she must be a part of their thing. Now I'm like, oh, so she's coming out, speaking out against Spielberg, and that she's been in some battle royale with him for her career ever since they made Hook or something. And so she's talked smack on him. And so she's come back out saying stuff. And then I was like, oh, maybe it is weird that they gave her these new parts in these shows. But maybe there's been people who really wanted to play on her name or something. Usually when they want to do that, if the people want this part or money, they'll try to make them jump through hoops or something and make them, well, you have to do this to get that or something. And so I don't know, because I was thinking maybe she was going to come out as being deep state because they had her move in these roles currently. But then for her to come out and say that, but then I started thinking, well, she did move away from Hollywood a long time ago. She moved out to like New Mexico or something, just with her guy that she got together with, which he was married when she got together with him. And so she stole him away. The big actress stole the light man or something from his wife. And then so she went and they made their relationship and fell in love. And then she had kids, and I think her kids, they're twins, and I think they're like fucking 17 or 18 years old now or something. So she's been with that guy a long time, and they stayed together. And now she's coming out. I would think there's going to be more and more actors and actresses that are going to be coming out and saying stuff. Taryn, she keeps going live. She still says the wackiest shit. And so she was talking a little smack on the Diddler. She was saying she was saying he's really gross. She's like, he's so gross and he's so weird. And she never thought he was like, and she said, and one thing too is he stinks really bad. She says he smells like poop. And she said that she always thought, if you smell like poop like that, there's a reason. I mean, she thought, he was, I don't know. It seems like there was a lot of people who knew he was gay and pretending to not be gay or something. But the other person, she was saying stuff, because she was saying stuff on, of course, Tom Hanks, like we already know he's bad. But Terrence Howard is, isn't he the one who's been out talking about all of this quantum theory and all this space age, philosophy of spirituality and stuff? Like, I think he's been out saying a bunch of stuff where you think like, well, he's, spiritual person who was stuck in this hellhole. And then, but now she's saying that she didn't elaborate, so I don't know. But she was just like, was laughing like, you guys think Terrence Howard's a good guy. I was like, what? So There's going to be, people are going to be exposed. There's not going to be any hiding. There's no place that's going to be able to hide. If you are dark, people are going to see it. Whatever dark things that you do, it's going to be really obvious to people. And, like I keep saying, that this is all about, oh, there's a light that keeps blinking in there. It's weird. That this is all about this spacing yourself and this coming into harmony with reality and with existence. And so, yeah, you still have these people who are battling it, not giving it respect, not respecting nature, laughing in it, snubbing in it. "Well, I'll make money off of it." And then these are, "Oh, well, we'll just move the hurricane. We don't need this shit." It's like, I don't know. Like, I get, wanting to move the hurricane and not wanting to see, a million people get killed. And especially when they're saying, like, this is going to be in category 6. But these are going to be coming. It's going to keep going and going. The hurricanes it's all of a sudden, it's not going to get better. The only time the weather manipulation will stop is when these people go down. And so, but there's going to, this is the thing, is that this stuff still has to change. There's still a lot of landscape that has to change. So even if they go down and the weather manipulation stops, that doesn't mean that Mother Nature is going to stop with the unsettled positioning, repositioning herself into a different position. Iceland, the volcanoes are going now, is crossed over this road and is hardening. It's like the landscapes are changing. They're all going to be changing. What was in our reality is going to go down, and what was history will come up, and it will be like two things, though, because it will be like our history will be being unveiled to us, so we'll be able to see more. But it will also be a new landscape for us to, it's like for like an artist, it's like getting a new canvas, and so it's like a whole new canvas. We got to start from scratch and redevelop the existence that we all want, and it's going to be all different. We don't all have to conform into the same one, and that's why there'll be a lot of different kind of communities, a lot of different kind of places, because there's not going to be this mass conforming into one person's idea. Oh, well, that guy, the strongest god, he's the one in charge, because in the reality of spirituality, no man is above another man. And so it's and when you are at that place, when you're still taking a knee to another man, or you're still fighting against, like, you're over another man, those are your battles to work through, because there is nobody above you and there is nobody below you. We are all on equal ground. And if you see yourself above or below, that is your issue, to find yourself, to pull yourself into balance. And at this time, while everybody's so out of balance, it is very difficult to find your balance, but it is also gives you a lot of opportunity to find your own uniqueness and become comfortable with it. So you can focus on what you think the demand is of who you should identify as or become. Or there's a lot of people who get caught up in the spiritual, oh, well, I'm going to become like a guru. It's like, okay, but part of life is about, enjoying it and knowing who you are. So you don't have to just sip out, no, I only drink water on Thursdays, I will sit here in silence. It's like, okay, well, if that's what you want to do with your life, I'm going to get up and dance. I'm going to play some music. I'm going to have some fun. I'm going to probably smoke a joint. Like I'm here to enjoy this place. And you want to sit in silence and you do you. But anyways, so it's finding, and there are so many people who think like God's mad, like, oh no, God wouldn't let you do that. There's people who fucking think God gets pissed if you motherfucking cuss. So I don't know, everybody's got their own view, their own journey to get to where you're going. And not everybody's going to end up in the same place. I know where I'm going, and I know what manifesting is, and manifesting isn't just sitting and thinking of something. And you got to take action. Then you got to trust that the stuff is going to come in timing, because everything comes to you. You don't have to force things. You don't have to go out and try and make things happen. They come to you when it's the right time. And the journey to harmony is trust and balance, and trying to fight the universe is a senseless battle. That's all I know. So I don't know. That's my rant for the day. That's my perspective on some of this stuff. And I'm not saying either, like, like, because yesterday when I was very upset in the morning, because I kept seeing all these people who think they're going to die and they keep staying there. It's like, what the fuck, man? And then you see these people just making like it's a joke, and then you see these people, like, it was just fucking so chaotic. And then, there's people who, you got to be able to look away and stuff like that. And, we were talking about that in the comments. And so to me, like, that conversation is not what I'm trying to say about this stuff today. Like, our conversation was like, but what I'm talking about today is this other kind of group of people who have this very determined way of not looking at things, because that lowers your vibration. And I just don't believe that at all. Because I know that in order to raise your vibration, you have to go into lower vibration if you want to consider it lower vibration to see yourself. But it depends on how you look at things, because you can be looking at yourself and love yourself, and that's high vibration. And you can be looking at yourself and hate yourself, and that's low vibration. So it's you who has the control through your attitude over your vibration. And just like I was saying over the people who, if they focus, to not focus, to not be willing to look at things that you don't like, is, it's like a handicap. You have to be able to look at the things that you don't like. You have to be able to take a long, hard look at yourself and recognize, the parts of you that aren't perfect and stuff, and be able to heal them. So, but you also have to be able to recognize your own emotions, and knowing when, when to not battle. Because it could be anything. It could be, something with your neighbor, and they just really fucking irritate you, and you really want to say something, but you have to, it's like that you need to, it's like reevaluate it, like go in and don't get so caught up in the fight, like pull yourself back from the battle, like, because it's you being able to manage yourself. So emotionally, you don't want to get pulled into something. Even if you get triggered, you don't want somebody to suck you into their battle, because some people, they're still very much in this position or this place that they really want to fight and battle. And so anyways, you just got to let things go. But you are the one who's got to go and find out when you got to let things go, when it's getting to be too much. And so anyways, yesterday it was being too much, and I did go and do some other things. But then I started, when I went and looked and checked, then it was the hurricane's changing. And then, but it's like I knew what was coming. I knew it was going to turn into all these people like snubbing the universe, like the universe is an idiot, and and then these people who I knew that there was going to be these people who were going to start saying they moved the hurricane because they're, kicking the universe's ass or whatever. So I don't know. Anyways, I'm just rambling, and I have a headache. And but I felt like I had to clarify because I was in that conversation yesterday talking to them, and when we were talking about being able to look away and stuff like that. And I know that there is a lot of people who think if you look at anything that is negative, that is going to lower your vibration. But I just don't think that. I don't think that. I think that you have to be able to steer through all of this stuff. I mean, you have to maneuver through it. You can't just be with, the right hand, because this is the only one that will deal with the light. And the left hand, you keep it in the dark, so you can't use it, because then, you would have to see what it was doing. So I think that I just think it's important to just look at yourself in every experience. And so, I mean, they gave me the feedback like, oh, you don't have to just sit there and put yourself through that, which, yeah, like I definitely don't have to sit and put myself through that. And it was too much to, it's very, like, you just feel these people's pain so much, and it's so draining. So anyways, but I still will go see today. Like after I finish this and I feed the dogs and stuff, I'm gonna still go check and see, because now it should be sunrise there, and you should be able to see some of the damage. But it's the people's attitude that just gets me, because it's like, oh, this is just gonna keep going and going and going. My God. For the ones of us who have been awake for a long time, who are way past some of this stuff, it's like, fuck, man. God damn. It's like so fucking. And it just is so like, what in the holy hell with these spiritual people that don't understand anything about spirituality, about destiny, about the universe, about what they're doing here, about purpose, about meaning. Like, it's like, I don't know. And I don't know what's going to happen to get them all to see, because that's what we're doing here. For everybody to see, everybody to learn, everybody to see these sides that they don't see. I mean, so whatever. All I can think of is that when this lights comes on, when this shift occurs, it's gonna be fucking dramatic. It's gonna be dramatic, because there's just like this attitude with these people is so corrupted. It's So, anyways, I'm just gonna finish up and. I don't even know what else to say. I just feel like I'm just keep saying the same thing, but it just is very frustrating to me. It's like there's so much more about spirituality and about destiny and about finding yourself and your attitude and your gratitude. And that's what's important, not this, I don't know. I really don't think we're supposed to be sitting here learning how to move the hurricanes so that the universe can't do what it's here to do. Like, that's just one way I look at it. So anyways, I'm sure there's a lot of people that think like, well, no, that's not what we're creating a reality. We're making it, and we don't want that. We want this. And okay. I don't know. Maybe this is a split. Maybe this is where we're all going into different realities or something. My reality is going to be over there. It's going to be called the Age of Aquarius. It's going to be all about freedom and blessings and abundance. And Stella's really sick of this whole thing. She's sick of listening to me at this point. So I'm sick of listening to myself, honestly. So anyways, remember what you're doing here. Learning how to love yourself, to love everyone, and how to have a loving day. This is totally up to you. So I'll talk to you tomorrow. See you later. Bye.